Go.
Ben Brown, Evolution Martial Arts in Sparks, Nevada with my buddy Brad, and the new module we're doing is the guard. So we gotta kind of differentiate different types of guard. The point of guard. The point of guard is, there's a couple of things. One is to keep hip mobility. The other is to keep your opponent from connecting to you in a way that allows them to do things to you, put you in bad positions, threaten submissions, things like that. I like to think of standing up as guard. So Brad will stand up real quick. There's a guard standing. It's just, instead of using my legs as the primary, it's my hands. And I'm trying to keep Brad from connecting to me. So if he wants to connect to me, I use my guard, right, to keep him from connecting to me, to keep my hips squared to him if I'm kind of in a defensive mode. So the same thing is on the ground. I think from like a self-defense standpoint, the worst guard is supine guard, where I'm on my back. And the reason is my hips aren't very mobile. And I have this ground next to my head. And if he's allowed to hit me in the head, hit my head on the ground, but not very mobile here. People competitively get pretty good with this. They can attack, and we'll talk about one thing you can do from here. But essentially, when I'm on my back, come over here for me, Brad, right here. I want to keep my hips square, my knees close to my shoulders, my toes pulled back. I want to imagine I have flashlights on my bottom of my feet and they shine on Brad. And all that does is keeps my hips squared to him. So Brad, if you start cutting an angle on me, so my flashlights aren't shining on him anymore. So I got to find a way to get my flashlights back on him. I don't want to let my knee get much past 90 degrees because it's hard to pull back in. And this gives Brad the space he needs to start passing my guard. Right, so anytime I feel my knee get past about 90, I'm gonna pull it back in. A lot of times I'll even grab my own shin as a way to reset. My feet have 3 jobs. What's one of those jobs?
To hook.
Yeah, so I'm usually gonna hook behind the knees, sometimes behind the ankle, usually knees, okay? What else?
Post.
Usually on the hip, okay? Posting on the hip. I can post on the thigh sometimes. I can even post by the knee, but usually it's gonna be hip. So my feet are either posting, hooking, one doing each, and then the last thing my feet can do is post on the ground to move my hips and usually into open space. So it's a hip escape that gives me the space to get my guard back. I could even maybe try to sit up or even get up all the way, but that's supine guard. It's easy to say, don't let yourself get put here, but if someone's better than you, they're gonna put you here. So just real quick, you're just challenging my guard and I'm just gonna play guard. So one last thing. Brad's main source of connection here is my ankles or my feet. So he grabs. I don't wanna let that happen. So I'm gonna circle. Okay, so Brad grabs my foot. The best way is to circle toward the thumb. Disconnects them right away. I can also go this way, but it's a little more work. The other thing I can do is I can use my other foot to disconnect, right? And then I want to put my feet back to work, hooking, posting, or moving me. So that's kind of the thing, is I don't accept his grips. It's harder if we're wearing a gi, but in no gi. So just real quick to show him, you're just gonna challenge my guard a little bit. I'm posting, I'm hooking. Yep, I'm not letting him connect. Posting, hooking, maybe I move me. If Brad starts to get this angle, then I'm gonna have to move me. Sometimes I can use, like he starts getting that angle, I use my hand like a bumper and I fix my angle problem because I want my flashlights to shine on Brad. So that's what it looks like. So what can you do from here offensively? Because we don't want to just be defensive with our guard. Probably the most common and easiest sweep from here. So it's away from me going from bottom to top, putting Brad on the ground. It's a takedown. Sweeps and takedowns are the same thing. And what's cool is it happens by doing the things I should be doing well. Give me this foot instead, Brad. So anytime, and Brad's doing a smart thing, he has a staggered stance. He shouldn't give me equal access to both legs like this. It's too easy for me to do stuff to him here. So if he gives me a foot, I'm gonna grab it. And the habit that I'm trying to teach people is if you grab the foot, post on the same hip. Why? Because you're really close to a tripod sweep. From here, all I need is a hook. So now I have push, pull, and the thing, what this hand grabbing does is it keeps it, if I don't grab this, he's just gonna step back and I lose connection with him. So I have 3 points of contact. Grab, and I tell him, grab, post, hook. Now, if you're good, you can do all 3 at the same time. But to learn the habit, it's this thing is, he gives me that foot, I grab, post. And then I know that I need to hook on the other side. Sometimes you'll do it, you might do it backwards if you're new at this. Well, I have no leverage, I can't do anything to him. So you know you got it wrong here. And if this happens, just switch. If you are hooking when you should be posting, you just switch. Now I have a push and a pull, so I'm actively pulling his knee in, and I'm just gonna push while keeping this in place. Another key is don't grab up here. You need to be at the end of the lever. This gives you more, so the lower you go, the less push you need. Now as I push, he's gonna do a good fall. Now I want to get to Brad before he has a chance to set up his guard. So it's that moment where he's falling.
Yeah.
He's falling now. Shin roll. So I'm gonna tuck. Usually it's the posting leg, but it doesn't really matter. I push, I tuck that shin in, and I'm gonna shin roll. So that puts me close to Brad quickly. What I see new people do sometimes, let's do it again where I see. This is what people do. They're here, they do everything right, and then they go. Well, Brad's at very least got his guard all set up, but he's probably on his feet by now. So we'll do it again, kind of slowly. I'm just playing guard here. There's his foot, I grab it, I post. I hook. As he's going down, I'm shin rolling. In my brain, I'm thinking pass the guard right now before he really sets up. That's gonna be as easy as it gets right there. If I take too long, you get your guard all set up, and now I'm dealing with your guard, okay? So one last time. Actually, you're down, let's have you do it. Okay? As soon as Brad feels like he can grab a foot, grab, post, hook. It's really hard for me to get out of this. And I'm going down, boom. And he's already starting to pass the guard because I'm still like recovering from being swept. Got anything to add?
No, that's great.
Good deal.